So, people like to say the Granblue community is this perfect, positive, and accepting community that couldn't possibly be on the same level as things spoken about in the Hoyo community. Well, I'm here to tell you that isn't true, and the community is far worse than you think, because the community is niche in the English side. So as a result, people use the fact that it's niche to get away with doing many things to people, and that's what I'm here to show. That the Granblue community is really no different at all from communities like Hoyoverse. The best example I can give are things revolving around the character named Satyr of Granblue Fantasy and the harassment I had over this character. So before I get into this, I will explain what Satyr is. She is a primal beast, and primal beasts are basically weapons of another race in Granblue called the Astrals. Primals are said to be primal cores, given a form created by their astral masters, and is immutable, so they cannot change at all from how they are created. Everything about a primal beast is predetermined by an astral. So that's the case with Satyr, a character created as a biological woman. Even the sort function in the journal proves this. However, people misinterpreted and even forced their misinterpretation of story event lines from an event story called Primal Resonance. It was when Nezha was saying that mortal concepts don't apply to primal beasts, and when Medusa was cut off about Satyr right after Nezha says this. In reality, what Nezha was speaking about only applied to when a primal beast is in its core form, whereas for Medusa, she was cut off, but the conversation continued. People with poor reading comprehension did not understand that it continues 3 parts later in the same chapter, and was really just speaking on how primals live forever, so long as the core stays intact. The misunderstandings of Satyr also bled onto primal beasts in general, when it was never true about primals to begin with either. While people had common sense and knew it was never referring to Satyr in such a way, the crazy gender people tried to piece together things using mythology when they know nothing about it. They can't let go of mythology that is literally said to be irrelevant to the game. While it says Greek Satyr are male only, female ones existed in Roman mythology and were even called fauns or fauna. Though all in all, mythological figures are irrelevant to the characters of the game. Granblue's take on this makes this more unique. So, back in 2021, I made this video about a person named Bloon Z in response to a small, obnoxious video of false accusations he created that people with confirmation bias believed in. I made a video as a means of defense against this person's constant targeted harassment, which I dealt with for a year at the time of it starting in 2020, up until now, 5 years later. He tried to say someone like me was transphobic and homophobic over Satyr, who is not even a man, nor is a trans character, followed by him saying I'm obsessed over her genitals, when it is completely obvious he and his server forces that onto me, similarly to the post you will see soon. Literally one person sees how what Blunzy is doing with his posts is a giant red flag. So here we have a person named Silence. This is one of many people trying to spam this stuff about Satyr. He even went as far to get the Japanese text to prove it and get others to believe in it. He got 22 gender-obsessed, gullible idiots to bookmark something he made to target someone with. What good does this information even do for anyone other than to cause more problems? And yet you have people like this saying, I'm obsessed over genitals. And yet you have people like this saying, I'm obsessed over genitals. It's insanity. If you don't believe me, just type in Satyr Granblue or Satyr GBF in the Twitter search. You'll see people echoing the same things. You will certainly see some use the excuse that it's a joke. But even as a joke, I'm not trying to be reminded of things literally shown to be irrelevant to her character. But if you ever told people like this that he is doing this because of that post, he will lie and say that he doesn't know him, despite it being the source, despite him blocking me. He's doing that because of Blunzy and his server's rumor spreading damage to the community regarding Satyr and me. Here's another example of how people can tell it's just being done to mess with me. It's just some deranged gender people trying to call me transphobic over a character not even trans, and trying so hard to make it seem like I'm trying to prove something already proven. There's even other people being called transphobic just for calling what Silence was putting out there misinformation. When I tried to say that the post is just being used to target me and spread lies about Satyr not being a woman, this person says a bunch of strange jargon and nonsense. So at the very end, this person tells me to get help, and then I say it right back. saying you should seek help if genitalia is what you gathered from the game dialogue speaking about that moment in the game. No one likes people doing that. And I get banned sometime later. What I said, which was basically me using this person's insult back towards them, plus with the truth, got me banned from Twitter. And there was another person who goes by the name Gwen that runs a crew named after a genital that this guy Silence is a part of. I once gave a like to a random post, which was this person's post at the time, and the person searched for me and mentioned, why hasn't the satyr guy been manhandled yet? The moment when I was banned, this Belial/Near projector came by to laugh at me for being banned, only to see himself banned sometime later, most likely for harassment towards someone else. To see more evidence of this person's harassment, just type this in. There was another poster doing the same thing. And as you can see, even someone from Japan doesn't like the post, calling this person a damn cultist due to the obvious obsession people have with genitals concerning this character. It was also community noted. The one showing the note once sexual harassed me by using futa porn of the character Satyr and then saying he'd force commission them for more ammo. And then there is Duration, someone who is often regurgitating what Bloon Z does and says over Satyr and me, even when he has me blocked. He is often lying about me, and he blocked me so he can basically continue doing that. When a person came up to him who was someone trans, he doubles down saying he will never stop talking about that. Therefore, I have proven I was never at fault for people continuing to do this, which was blatantly obvious. After going on another account and trying to seek help to get what happened to me out there, there's this person named Umikin who reuses the words of DYDK, the person whose server she moderates, by saying I'm an emotion manipulator. DYDK when he decides to send me out of the Discord due to people messing with me so I don't have to deal with that anymore. I told him that if he did this, I would hate him for it because I had some friends in there. But he took my reaction in me saying I'd hate him as emotional manipulation, which is beyond crazy to me. So he tells Umikin or Listic Sin this. The other day, someone added me on Discord and basically sexual harassed me with yaoi. I never accepted the request either, but he was in the same server as me. You know, people hate me respecting the game lore and saying that nothing alluded to Satyr's sexual biology, while saying it was always speaking about better things. But what about people like this who can't help but correct others about Sandalphon's sexuality? This person does it, perhaps all the time, and gets praise for it. So much so that people believed in him when he said official Galleon art was AI art. And it made him private his account for months when people with brains showed up with some even questioning why they were buying into what he was saying. Though with that said, that's all I have to show. I don't like making videos like this, but I felt that I had to make it because of what people do in the English Granblue community and how bad it can get.